Yes, I'm Rod Smith, former teacher for 35 years in Logan, football coach, wrestling coach, track coach, athletic director. Lived in the district. Marcia taught at Washington School, my wife, for over 30 years. Our two children went to school at Logan. They both graduated and moved on. They do not live in the district. They live outside. Son lives in McConnellsville. My daughter lives in Greenville. And both of them got very good educations and have college education and good jobs at this time. Yes, we have, in Logan, probably one of the best things we have is we have great teachers. And on top of that too, we have great students. We say that all the time because, for instance, today we had a power outage and we had probably 200 high school students in the gym for over an hour. And there's not too many high schools, that doesn't really have to worry about too many things at that point. But they were good, and they're also really motivated in the classroom on the most part. They're typical 16, 17-year-old people, and but we have really good students, and we also have great staff, and because of that, the technology is just an addition. But boy, it sure is nice when you have a smart board that works and a snap camera that works with all the different testing from the states. So being correlated with the State Department and all the testing and all the paperwork that's put on us today, it's very, very important to have technology in the classroom. And besides that, the students today have more technology than most of the teachers do. So they learn by technology. You know yourself, if you want to have somebody fix your DVD player or anything on your computer, you usually go find the youngest person in the family and they can fix it for you. So it's very important for us to have this to teach, but also to learn by. Most people drive by the schools and they see them, or they just walk into the school, like the elementaries. People say, well, boy, they're really beautiful. And most of that is because they've taken such good care of them with the fresh paint and the flooring that's, waxed and everything looks clean. But boy, I tell you, when you really get down to it and walk through the building, you would be absolutely shocked. If you would have walked over the first week of school this year during the heat wave when it was 98 and heat index over 100, and we only have one building that's air conditioned in the whole district, you would have seen every door stand wide open, every window wide open in those buildings, and which is uncalled for in today's world. I really don't have to go into why, but it's just horrible. With computers on and everything else, the heat is just unbelievable. If you want the students to learn, and of course we always get the people say, well, I didn't have air conditioning when I went to school. Well, I didn't either. But the thing is that our students have air conditioning. They ride in their cars air conditioned. They live in their homes air conditioned. And probably you yourself has air conditioning in their home. So when they come to school, they don't have it. And it's completely different. It's tough to get a child motivated to learn when it's 97 degrees. The other thing that people don't know is the sewage system. Go to Laurelville and flush a toilet with 3 other people in the bathroom. You can't go. You have to go one at a time. We even have teachers have to pour a bucket down one of the commodes to make it flush. The stairs in Salt Creek are worn down. I mean, the buildings are absolutely falling apart, and it's time to fix them. And people can say, well, we just need to put more money in it. It's just like throwing money in the trash can. You can't fix it up when it's that bad. And they're getting really, really bad and unsafe, and it's not fair, and I hate that word fair, because we can do something about it, and we need to do something about it so that our kids can have a really, really nice school to go in and learn. There's no handicap accessibility in every one of our elementaries. The high schools are flat, one-story buildings, so they're okay. But yet we have all the trailers here. They have to go from one side of the building to the other. When we have somebody that has trouble getting around, we have trouble even in these two buildings. But the stairs, to me, and the old buildings are probably the biggest concern we have. Also, the technology part, I can't even think of what it would be like to try to get Wi-Fi and all the different technologies in the 100-year-old buildings, 3 stories. It's just not good. Go down in the basement of the kindergarten room at one of the elementaries, like at Washington, and look there and see what our kindergarten kids are going in. And then go into Circleville or Logan or some new school and see what their kids are going to school in. That's the biggest thing, is that we deserve to have better facilities and not having school in the basements and closets and trailers. And we have to keep up with everybody, and that's our job to do that. I mean, you build it, it's going to be there. I mean, I'm sure that the people who built Pickaway Elementary in 1920 probably thought, this is a great building. It's still there. We're still using it 100 years later. They've long gone. And man, it's a beautiful building. What craftsmanship. I mean, it is a super building. But, of course, it's 100 years old. And we have kids walking up and down stairs. You can't even get into the principal. In 3 of our 4 buildings, you can't go to the principal's office without going up steps. I went over to Pickaway one day to work on some stuff, and a grandmother was there outside the door, and she had to call a secretary to come down and meet her to give her the paper to sign so her kid could get out, because she couldn't walk up steps to get to the office to sign out her grandson. If you would like to be a doctor, you need all the facilities that you can have. You need to have chemistry and all the sciences. And in our science rooms right now, we have 1 sink. Several science rooms don't even have a sink to clean anything. The elementary schools don't have sinks. Like almost every elementary school that's built in this world right now has sinks and places to wash up and do different things. The computer labs, of course, computer labs are sort of going away now, but just because of all the different Wi-Fi and stuff you can have in the classrooms, it's just not here because we can't do it. If we need something new and nice and clean for our students to go in, and above all, we need something safe for them to go to school in. So if I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, I can still do that at Logan because we do. We have people who become doctors and lawyers every year, and it's amazing how many great alumni we have. But boy, we could have more. And if we provide the right opportunities and facilities for them, maybe we can do that. Well, for one, we wouldn't have every second grader in 3 different buildings. We would have them all in one building, right here in McDowell. Think of the kindergarten, first grade, second grade coming to school in McDowell, going to the cafeteria in McDowell instead of the gym at Washington, the gym at Salt Creek, the 12 by 12 cafeteria and Pickaway, or walk outside to the cafeteria in Laurelville. Everybody would be right here. Think of the cleanness, the idea of coming here, and especially when they renovate this building to make it even better. So, we renovate the high school, get that place straightened out, and then it's just unbelievable to think that the possibilities of everybody being together. Also with that, we would be one. No more us, them. That to me, that's one of the biggest goals we have to do in Logan Elm School District, is become Logan Elm, and all of our schools, not just junior high to high school right now. We become one. Everybody is there. If we have 5 gifted students in, let's say in Laurelville classes, and we have 5 gifted students in Pickaway classes, they can come together here and have 10 in a gifted class here, or a special needs class or something. We can offer so much more when everybody is together. There are several reasons for that. One is 35% sale. The state is offering 35% for us to build this building. And we've heard, it's still our tax dollars. Well, yes, it is. Our tax dollars help pay for Circleville School and Logan schools and Zane Trace's schools and everybody else's. But it's 35%. If it doesn't pass this time, it'll probably be down in the 20s, I would guess. I'm not 100% sure, but I would say high 20s, low 30s again, so we're losing money there. But more importantly, we lose these years, and we lose the momentum to get this going. We don't pass it this time. It could be a long time before we get it passed again, because people will start reevaluating things. Well, we need to do this, and we go right back to where we were 15 years ago, and people arguing back and forth. We need to just build the daggone building and get it done and move on. It's just ridiculous not to do it now. The sale, getting it done, and we lose time. You know, of course we would have in our new building, 6 through 12 building, we would have another gym. We'd have an auditorium for once, a permanent auditorium. What a great thing an auditorium is. And what's happened here at Logan Elm is we've just become used to not having one. And then you go somewhere else, you go to Tays Valley or you go to Logan Elm or Westfall. We are the only county school not to have an auditorium. That's ridiculous not to have that. We could use that auditorium for everything. Class meetings, school meetings, everything. I mean, it would be used almost every day. The athletic facilities, of course, we have a tremendous booster program that supported us so well over the years. And but when it really gets down to it, it to me is the idea of being one. That everybody grows up a brave. Right now, we're not a wildcat from Washington or a pirate from Pickaway or whatever. We're all brave, all the one, and everybody grows up together and they play on the playground together and they know everybody. And to me, that is a big movement to help us even in our extracurricular activities. It's our duty as an American citizen. It's our duty as a human being to provide for our children. If it's not our children, it's everybody's our child. So I can't drive by the elementary school and look at that building and justify to myself why I would not want a new building for those kids. To see that little girl walk in that classroom or that little boy and see the excitement on their faces and walking in a new building compared to walking into the basement of the other one, or it's just our duty. Woody Hayes said pay forward, and that's what we need to do. And I think you're cheap. I think you're stingy, selfish person if you don't want to spend money to help the kids in your community to have a better chance for better education. There's really no reason. I had a guy call back here and say, well, money's, it's my money. Well, yes, it is your money. But realistically, it's not. It's God's money. It's the community's money, and we're members of the community. So let's put our money into our kids. Let's help them. I don't live in a big house and a mansion or anything, but I don't want to see those kids continue in buildings that's ready to fall down. And something's going to happen one of these days, and then the people who vote no or the people who don't support us, is going to have to look in a mirror one of these days and say, yeah, I should have done that. Well, should have and would have, but there's a saying with that, but we won't go into that. But I think it's our responsibility to pay. Because it's going to pass this time. We're going to pass this levy this time, and our kids are going to be walking in a new building in 2017. And we're going to be outside on that little grassy area outside here when all those buses pull in that first day, and we're going to watch all those kids walk in that school. And the next year when they all come, the elementaries all get here and everybody's on one campus and everybody is one, we're going to be here watching. And what a great thrill that will be to see that happen. That we know that every student in Logan Elm's in a new or renovated, safe, nice building. And that's what we're going to do. And we hope you get along with it, and we hope you jump on board, because we'd like to have the whole community here that day. What a great party we'd have. We'd have coffee and everything out there in the morning watching. So let's get on board. Let's do what we should do and do what we need to do.
Please vote for new school so we can be more safe. Please vote for Ellie so we can all be together and you'll have 1,000 friends.
Vote yes for the best school, Logan Elm.
We